Hi, and welcome to a new episode of 2 vs 3. Kyle, Cody, and Greg.
Crack 'em up.
Supposed to do that before. I forgot about it.
It's only episode 5, you know. I don't
Yeah.
think I ever stuck on any traditions yet.
Yeah, and I get drunk enough after these, I usually forget.
Like, if we keep doing this, that'll be the tradition.
What, just doing it different every time?
Just, no, doing a podcast. If we
Yeah,
continually do the podcast, that'll be the tradition.
Yeah, hopefully. Speaking of getting really drunk, it was Greg's birthday last weekend, and it was last Thursday, and yeah, we went to go see Core Blonde at the Grand Theater, which is, I'll tell you right now, not a good venue to go have fun at.
I was just going to ask, I've never been there.
Well, man, I don't really want to, slander the local scene, but no, the Grand Theater is a place for old people.
Slander!
No, it's for quiet shows.
Well, put it this way.
It's for place.
Core was playing one of his best songs, and I looked around the room, I couldn't see a nod heading. Not heading, nodding.
So, the crowd was bad?
No, the crowd was bad. No, the venue was actually okay because they put up with us. They didn't kick us out or give us really any shit.
Well, see, I'm not so sure. I'm torn on this. Is the venue setting the tone for why people are being so lame at the show, or was that the crowd that goes?
Well,
because you're right. The staff didn't seem to be bothered by us. The audience seemed bothered by us.
Well, I'll tell you right now. When I used to work at the Playhouse and we did concerts, if someone were to be acting the way we were at our theater, I would have to kick them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But during what performance though?
It would always be pretty low key. But we'd even have rock bands. But I know, if there were people up in their seats dancing, I would have to kick them out. So, even by the end of the night, we had that one usher standing right behind us. But we were fair enough. We moved, we had seats on the top balcony, but, kind of near the front of it. But we ended up moving right to the back. So we weren't in anyone's view or anything.
Which, in hindsight, if we didn't know about
yeah, we got hushed, quite a few times. Someone told us to shut the fuck up.
But, I mean, who goes to a show, a music... okay, just to clarify, Core Blonde is, a country music singer. He's a Canadian icon. He's a national treasure. But it's upbeat music. This isn't soft country, cry shit. It's get up and move about. It's time to switch to whiskey is one of his titles. But we were the only ones there thinking that we were going to see a music show. Everyone else was going to see, I guess they're not wrong, a piece of art.
Like a performance or something?
But... yeah, I don't know. The show is great. I would love to see Corb again.
I was really impressed by the opening band, American Aquarium. A bunch of young guys from the States. I just listened to the album I bought. I thought it was pretty damn good. I thought it was really funny, though, the whole time. Every single time they played a new song, we'd be like, this sounds like this person. This sounds like this person. And by the end of it, we were just, naming legends. So, and, really good musicians. So, obviously, they were doing something right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
No, it was a good show.
I fell down the stairs.
In the theater?
In the theater. Well, I was wearing my cowboy boots, and it had been a while, man. It was pitch black, and I was obviously really drunk. But yeah, it was the last song. I cased.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
What time did this show start?
7:30.
No, I see you guys were...
Well, we were drunk when we showed up.
Oh, yeah. We had flasks of whiskey.
Which both made it home. We didn't lose a single thing.
The funny thing, though, Greg has his whiskey in his pocket. He goes to coat check. Gives him his coat. He comes over. And Whitbread's like, you just checked in your whiskey, didn't you? It's oh, shit.
Did you have to go back and ask for your coat?
No, I did.
Yeah, you went back and got it, right?
I went back and I was like, can I see my coat for a sec? I'm going to go outside for a cigarette or something. And I think I just walked outside, grabbed the whiskey, walked back inside, checked the coat again. They were really nice. They were really nice to us. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and the bartenders, they're serving us 6 beers at a time.
As long as they were it's only one per hand. So we just kept pointing to people, they'd wave, and they'd give us more beer. It's good. You know what? It sounded like, first I wanted to be don't go to a show at the Grand Theater, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it was
a great time.
I thought the crowd was just lame. It might have been
That's not the
top section we were sitting into, you know?
Yeah, no, because I could look down and see all the other people closer having
fun.
less fun. It was the further you got away from the crowd, or from Corb, the more fun you were having.
How many people were there?
It was pretty much packed. There's maybe a few rows that were
Yeah,
full.
but I've never been to the place.
I would guess 600 people.
Oh wow, okay. So it's not like you could have.
Because the Playhouse is 300. I'd say
Okay.
it's twice as big as the Playhouse.
Wow. All right, that makes sense. That's big then. Shit, I would have
Maybe
thought.
500 to 600.
So like the only other place you could really play is like AJ's or Stages.
Which would have been a
K-Rock
way
Center,
better venue. Where did Against Me play? At the Ale House?
The Ale House. The Ale House would have been perfect.
Against Me's played at AJ's, the Ale House, and Stages.
What's AJ's?
Or well, not or that is the Ale House.
Yeah.
AJ's Hangar
Yeah.
is what it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. My birthday's
Where else
coming
did
up
they
next
play?
week.
They played another place. They've done 3 shows.
Yeah, they played at the local Legion, which everyone should support.
They played at the Legion.
They played at the Legion.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
Soak that in.
That was before me. Yeah, I didn't go.
Google Against Me, and then Google like Kingston, Ontario Legion.
You're gonna get a picture of you.
No, it just to put into perspective, the contrast.
Yeah, it was fun.
But it was good.
Yeah, speaking of shows, I got one coming up next week, or like this Friday. I guess by the time this podcast comes out, it'll have already happened.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's been a while for me. It'll be fun. It's on my birthday, so I'm gonna try not to get sloppy. I'm sure it's gonna be a good time though.
Are the other bands all punk bands or?
Yeah, the headliner's called the Breastfeeders. They're like this. I say they sound like Arcade Fire meets Black Lips, but in a good way.
Okay.
By Arcade Fire, I just mean they're really French.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your band?
Oh yeah,
all originals.
Yeah, we're all originals. No, I'm in a band call the Monitor Men. We just do Ramones covers.
Man,
it's really fun.
I'd like to just say that I've seen Cody play in a lot of different bands, and this isn't a slight on his ability to write new music, but watching him play as Joey is phenomenal, and I think it's just because you just absolutely let go.
Well, thank you.
But I'm excited for it.
The one thing that I feel a little unsure about with that band is that I don't really sound like him at all.
No.
But I still like to bring my own flavor and intensity, which I hope people like.
I'd like to think though
because you can't fuck up the sound of the band. The band's gonna sound like the Ramones, or they're not.
Oh, yeah, but I'd like to think that
it's just distortion, fast drums. Fast
right. Like the recordings of the Ramones on CD or vinyl or something, probably mastered a little bit where you could hear him singing. But a live performance of them would sound probably similar to what you sound like.
Yeah, he did sound really strange when you sang live, and I took a lot of little tricks that he did, where your voice is about to give out on you. Either take a little sip of NyQuil like Greg over there.
Dude, honestly, I don't even want to say this. I've been staring at my beer and with the NyQuil in my hand, just sipping NyQuil, just realized it's not beer.
That sounds
You've been
terrible.
Yeah.
You just made yourself sound like a NyQuil fiend.
No, I'm a stoner. I was smoking bongs before the NyQuil. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, do you guys like the Ramones?
I mean...
Not as much as you.
Yeah, well, okay, that's fair.
I liked the Ramones when I was in high school.
Yeah?
I don't know. They have their hits.
Well, that's true.
What are they?
What about you, Greg?
I love the Ramones.
Because I know a lot of people that claim to love punk music that fucking don't like the Ramones. Zach and Alex, I remember growing up, always made fun of them.
Really?
But but they also had mohawks and
Well, yeah, I was just gonna all the punk music that I liked. All the punk kids would say wasn't punk music. So maybe I'm a bad example because I really like the Misfits. I like the Ramones, which I was gonna say.
That's why you automatically say I really like the Misfits.
But no, the Misfits and the Ramones, to me they're ridiculously similar and just kind of went off in different directions. I don't know.
I don't like the Misfits because when I went to see them, the show
Yeah,
sucked.
but that wasn't the Misfits.
No, it was whoever was alive left in the Misfits, but yeah, I mean, it still sucked.
How long ago was that?
Shit.
Was I there?
Probably 10 years ago. Or 9 years ago.
Oh,
I think you were there, Greg. I think it was before I knew you.
No, but I think it was
you
we all went to Toronto, everybody went to Toronto.
Yeah, I think I rated you there, but we didn't really know each other. I went with Alex, and he knew you. And that was before we hung out.
I got my fucking shoes signed by... I think it was Jerry Only singing, actually. But I got my shoes signed by Jerry Only because I didn't have anything to sign. It was a black shirt, black pants, and obviously had a black marker. It was just what is he going to fucking sign? But I had gray Converse, so I gave him to sign my shoe. And people were just like throwing things at him on the stage, right? And then he was signing them and just trying to throw them back. And the shoe caught him by attention. I'm not gonna lie. He signed the shoe and he made sure to get it back to me, which was nice of him because I would have only had one shoe.
I remember like the band right before them, the Three Tards, when the guy got kicked in the face. The lead singer got kicked in the mic, like kicked the mic into his teeth.
Oh.
He finished the song and pulled the mic away, and it was just soaked in blood.
Ugh.
Like he was like, "Fucking pieces of shit," yelling at everybody. There was like tons of fighting. Alex got banged up pretty good.
Yeah, I heard it was a violent show.
Oh, it was the most violent show I'd ever been to.
No, I do remember, man. Like this one kid had like spikes on his leather jacket, not just like studs, full spikes, and all like refused to take it off while he was moshing and was cutting up people. And Justin and I didn't have it, and we remember like we grabbed him, threw him to the ground like each by his shoulder, ripped his jacket off of him. We each tore a patch off his jacket, whipped his jacket as far back as we could, and kept the patches as like badges of honor. I had a Bad Religion one. I don't know what Justin got, and I don't know if the kid came back or not. At least he didn't.
I remember there was like a pillar in the middle of the pit, or like right off to the one side of it, that people just kept slamming into. There was one guy standing in front of it with a big fro, and he was just like he refused to move, but did not want to mosh, and he was just kicking people as they like went near him, watched near him,
I
just
kind of
punching him in
remember
the face. Yeah, he was super pissed. I remember that vividly, of him just hating that people were moshing near him. But it was
The
like,
good
you're
old
at a punk
violent
show.
punk.
You know what's crazy? Do you guys remember? Like, what do you think you remember more? The shows you hated, or the shows that you kind of like, oh, that was amazing, and you're like, but do you remember?
I remember the
I'll
shows
tell you
I
right
was
now,
too
the ones
young to
I got kicked out of stand out more in my mind.
Was that a good show or a bad show though?
It was usually 50-50.
Probably a good
Yeah, I was
show.
usually moshing too hard because I really liked the band, or I was moshing too hard because I hated the people in the audience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, those are two good reasons to mosh. That's actually probably the only two.
Or, you could just be
No,
enjoying yourself and like I was doing normally.
that's not called
The
moshing.
only ones I ever remember are the ones I was too young to drink at, like the Misfits. I don't think I was old enough to order.
Well, I remember when I went to my first punk show at the Boulevard, I made a vow to mosh for every single song to every single band I would ever see.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 3 shows, and then I started smoking a lot more pot. Smoking some cigarettes. I was like, nope.
Then you become a little, I remember thinking that same thing, kind of, and then you're like, no, this band's not good enough. You can
Or like, if I were to
do
go
it.
to a show, I was like, I would watch every band. I wouldn't go outside and drink during the opening bands. That went right out the fucking window, too.
Yeah, you see a lot of really terrible.
Yeah,
bands
no, I like
go
how you
to
phrase
every
that.
local
It's like,
punk show.
I would stay in and watch the opening bands. I wouldn't go outside and drink in the alley. We weren't old enough to drink in the bar. It was like really, like you knew you were true punk if you stayed in the bar. You couldn't drink at it, watch the shows. Or you were really punk when you got kicked out. It's like, 50-50.
Those were fun days, though, I'm thinking about doing a radio show telling the story of all the Gant bands. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
Weird little
There
punk
really
scene,
is.
Yeah, it
small
could
town Ontario. And it's weird how it just died.
Completely. Well, everyone moved.
Yeah, I was going to say, everyone kind
We all
of...
moved to Toronto. Or
The scene didn't
Kingston.
breed new followers. It kind of like...
Well, there
Well,
are
we
a
were-
couple new young bands in Gant, which is actually really nice to see. Like, I've got these kids on Facebook after I played a show with them, but there's at least, like, 3 young punk bands, and, like, the ones playing, like, Blink-182 and Green Day covers, just like I was when I was in fucking grade 8 and 9, Like,
Yeah, man. Okay, that just made me think of like a really good something I've been thinking about for a while. But when's your show?
this Friday.
Oh, like you said, the show will have already happened by the time you guys hear this podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys should check out Cody's band. It's all right. But man, I was just thinking this, and I've been hearing it a lot. Is fucking like like Green Day is a great example, right? Like, what do you guys think of when you think of dad rock?
Dad rock.
Yeah, right.
Here's what I think of. Nothing. Never heard that before in my whole life.
You've never heard dad rock?
No,
Never
but,
once.
like, try to associate
Oh, I
it.
know what you mean.
Okay, right.
It's
So like
descriptive.
right now, or at least is
Depends on whose fucking dad you're talking
No,
about.
see exactly.
man.
But I think that for a while, dad rock was like a coined term where it just meant classic rock, right? Like,
okay. Yeah.
right, like like Skinner or Led Zeppelin or shit like that. Like it was all just dad rock Because that's, or like, just when you go down in your dad's
a
basement.
lot of dads like country music and shit too,
No,
Yeah,
but they
I think
didn't call that
where we came
dad
from.
rock though. But that's what I'm saying now is times are changing.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
Green
like-
Day is like our...
Yeah, like or Eminem could be considered dad rock, which is probably for
Dad
a lot
rap.
of people is dad rock. Like I don't know. I just think it's funny. Like when maybe if we ever have kids, like one day Danny.
It will be really strange in the future seeing old wrinkly ass people listening to like Drake.
Yeah,
And
dad's
fucking,
getting down to Kanye.
Yeah, shit like that.
Well, because like that has to be it, right? I mean, my grandmother still listens to the music that she was listening to when she was young.
Yeah.
In a way, I mean, sorry, I still listen to a lot of the bands that I liked when I was young. A lot of those bands I fucking hate.
Yeah, but we're also listening to the same bands that our grandparents were listening to.
Yeah, it's the thing
like,
about
I love
classic
the
rock.
Beatles
There is a lot of
as much
timeless
as
music.
our grandparents love the Beatles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents never
Well,
really
they're not.
had like taste in music. I mean, like they just didn't. I don't ever remember them like listening to like one genre of music.
Like loving a specific artist.
No,
or
like
anything.
they'd go between. My mom would love like country, like Shania Twain country, like new country or
It's
whatever.
alright.
And then my dad would be like, eat like anything. And every once in a while, I'd go to like a record store and he'd be with me and like, he'd be like, oh, like, we gotta get the Cars. Or like, gotta get fucking whatever random ass
the dad rock.
Yeah, it's dad rock. But it was always all over the place. And it was never like a one thing. And he'd only know one song on it and he'd pick through like, to find the album with that. Sorry.
One job.
It was my dad calling me.
He heard you talking about
Hey,
it.
Dad, tell me how this
Yeah,
record
ask
is
him what
about.
ask him what dad rock is.
Yeah. Yeah, he just never really into as like a type of music. Maybe that's why I don't really.
I was just
listen
gonna
to
say,
any
like, for somebody who has so many friends in bands and that music is a huge portion of their life, you just seem to you're like passe with music, like.
Oh yeah, I've probably been to more shows, certainly more than the average person. But don't listen to fucking very many, like any songs outside of going to those shows.
You have fun at shows though, man. I've seen you sing along and I've seen you dance and.
Yeah, like I like it, but I think it's just like I get my fix there. Like I go to like a show.
well, like you don't really listen to music on your free time.
No,
do you?
no, I play games.
Where a lot of people do.
Well,
Hey,
pretty
and
much
you also
everyone.
listen to podcasts when other people would be listening to music.
Yeah, I
Right.
listen at work, instead of like listening to whatever playlist, I listen to.
Podcasts.
Where you're a bit more mixed. You do, like, you go through waves, I guess, with listening to podcasts.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, usually when I'm listening to a podcast, especially at work, like, it kills the vibe for talking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I throw a podcast on, I want to be listening to it, which means, like, I usually want to be by myself.
Headphones in.
Headphones is usually the best thing to do. One day, you'll be able to listen to this with your headphones on. Out of your house.
Well, you
out
could
and
if you were listening to SoundCloud back in the day when we were able to post it there.
But
The
we
good
don't.
old
We
days.
can't afford the $6 a month for unlimited
Yeah.
bandwidth.
Not yet.
Hook us up with more subscribers, and then you.
Man, we're
Spread
not
the
asking
word.
for money yet. The Kickstarter will be up next week. Don't worry.
No, that's
People
a lot.
still
We
Kickstart?
weren't-
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still
I
a
think
thing.
GoFundMe's a little more popular these days.
I think people like the idea you get to keep the money no matter how much you make. But which, I don't know. I don't think it's any more successful though. I think it worked better, especially when you guys did the Kickstarter, where you could be like, we need this much money.
See, I would want to say that we jumped on Kickstarter at the perfect time, and yeah, for the sake of the podcast, we funded our comic book, me and Greg, Epics, using the Kickstarter campaign, and it was really successful.
It was indeed very successful.
And especially because like we just jumped into it and did not put half the effort a lot of those publishers and companies have done on their Kickstarters. It was very amateur.
Our book looks amazing, though.
Yeah, because
you spent
of it.
you spent the money on the product instead of like the different.
Obviously,
goals and
marketing.
stuff like that.
We
Yeah,
obviously
marketing.
left that out.
Yeah, but I mean it worked.
So yeah, I don't know. I want to say that we jumped on the whole Kickstarter thing at the right time, but I really haven't been keeping up with it. It could still be hot as ever. I don't know.
It depends on the thing, right?
Video games are still pretty big on there, I think.
Yeah, they are, but it's getting ruined.
It's getting oversaturated, definitely.
Yeah, and everybody wants to do a Kickstarter. Big games that have money behind them are still asking for like Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's always the big debate when people that have money
Yeah, like
ask for it.
No, but at the same time, I always consider something along the lines of, if a big company is doing that, they're securing pre-sales.
Yeah, but there's already there's
Right,
pre-orders already. Like you can just
No, but for a game that's not even built yet, right?
Yeah,
a
but
game that's just an idea. I know how many games I have sold before I even build my game.
But yeah, that's definitely something they use. But is it right?
I don't think it's right for a large company to do.
Like, no, don't you think it's like a large company? Do you think it would be right if Kevin Smith funded a movie through Kickstarter?
No.
Because, yeah, you know.
Like he can get he's made how many movies at this point in time? And he even said it himself, it's supposed to be for people that are trying to do what he did 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like trying to get Clerks off the ground. That's for those people, not for him to go in and where people know him.
Yeah, well, like, it's a very fine line. Well, at that point, what are you saying?
Beer.
Oh, are you successful, so then you can't use it?
Well,
Because there are also a lot of what you would consider very successful comic guys that use it.
Well,
and, and it's not frowned upon.
It might be, in a sense, though, a lot of people that you think are rich or are in control of their own products, whether it be a film or a game or a comic, might not have as much control over the final product as they think, right? Like somebody who's writing for DC or someone who's making movies for Miramax might not have the final say on their movies because the money's coming from these people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, somebody who's you might think is famous as fuck is still getting paid by somebody else. So now it's like, no, I want to
lose creative control.
You lose all that creative control, but at the same time, I don't know. I kind of like being involved in shit like that, right? Like, to be honest, if Kevin Smith did one, might even be inclined to get involved because, I don't know, I'm not going to have an opportunity to get a hold of Kevin Smith, really.
But
yeah,
and no one's making anybody give money to these people. I can see why it's bad, I mean, to ruin, because, like, if Cody and I were trying to put up a Kickstarter to raise money for a comic, and DC all of a sudden started fucking kickstarting all their books,
yeah,
it's like, well, no one's going to fucking... If you have to give money to see the next Superman comic, they're not going to fucking donate money to us.
Yeah, exactly. But here's an example of why it's bad in video games or whatever. Peter Molyneux, the developer, he did games like Fable. You guys probably all played Fable at some point in time. Almost everybody did.
That was a great game.
Yeah, okay. So, like, really popular. Lots of people played it. He also made, like, Black and White and a bunch of other, like, games before that. And he went to Kickstarter and started a game called Goddess, which was supposed to be, like, a godlike game where you're, like, you're creating your civilization and you're, like, managing your people and all that kind of thing. And it was, like, his older games. So everyone was like, oh, sweet. Like, he gets to make the game that... publishers won't let him make anymore because they don't sell or whatever. So everyone thought that was a perfect idea and went on and gave him all the money he asked for. Game got released in like early access, which is the thing games get released in now, which is like it's basically released in alpha or whatever.
I don't know
beta. So it means like the game's not finished at all.
Oh, okay.
It's in its broken kind of half.
Did you say alpha?
Yeah.
Is that like a play on beta?
It's before beta.
Before.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought like alpha is the final product.
No, alpha and then beta.
That makes sense.
But anyway,
go on.
So the game came out, and then they started selling it in early access. So you could, even though you didn't contribute in Kickstarter, you could buy the game in its not finished state for however much it was. It was probably like 10 or 20 bucks. The same, like the people making it, right? Okay. Goddess or whatever. And that was probably 2 years ago, if not 3. The game's still in early access. Still no idea when it's going to be finished. It's not like no real updates on that. And he's starting to make, he's now announced his second, game. He's making another game. And he's not finishing his shit.
Yeah, well, me and Greg just looked at each other and giggled because that just reminded us of a real funny story about this comic called Epics.
Yeah, hey, no, I get it. But you're not a famous name that's now gone on to, you admit, it's not like you're still selling.
No, we
Epics
paid the
too.
people back.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
No one paid
just
anybody
now,
back.
just like Kyle's telling a story about a criminal. Cody's just like, we're not criminals.
I'm not blaming you guys for what happened or anything, and you guys went about it the right way. You paid back the people that had gotten the
second
stuff
issue
for a second issue.
is still on the way.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No.
But anyway, but like it's not right when a guy who probably could have gone and made a game through a different publisher, like an actual publisher, and had it made in a different way, or not sold a broken game over and over again to people, and still not finish it. It just, I don't know. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, what if Kevin Smith came out and was like, "Oh, I got 6 scenes of my movie done," and then started kickstarting the next fucking movie.
Kevin Smith.
That would be
He's got tons of fucking book series that he's put out that he hasn't finished.
Well, yeah, book series, but he didn't kickstart them. I didn't buy the second half of Widening Gyre.
Yeah, like we didn't sign an agreement saying.
Gyre, I don't know.
I don't know.
Gyre, probably.
Let's not go ask you questions.
Yeah, I don't know. We asked Siri to pronounce Gyre.
Yeah, write it in the comments.
Yeah, write it in.
And please just spell it out. No.
Jeff Lemire knew how to do it.
Yeah, that was
that was good.
I got a funny question for you guys. In the whole grand scheme of the fictional universe, cartoons, video games, comics, anything, who do you think would be the best person to have a beer with?
What character? Or
not necessarily a beer, just get fucked up with. Like for a whole
night.
Like
a character or a creator?
A character.
Ooh, we're gonna go out and get fucked up.
Yeah, and it could be anyone, like a cartoon character.
I want someone flashy.
Someone from a novel.
Someone who's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing. Let's say
Archer.
Not to get laid. So like not.
No, I don't want to hang out with Archer. He's a dick. He gets shot.
No, I like to.
He's not a good friend.
I was thinking Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson's a good answer.
Because he would stay up and drink all night with you, and he'd be funny, and he always gets into fun situations.
You can possibly meet someone like Homer in real life. You're not going to meet Archer.
I always thought Bender would be good.
Yeah?
You getting up in jail.
Yeah, but it's a good night. I have friends now that there's a good likelihood you hang out with him, you might end up in jail.
That's fair. They always seem to get really hurt. Bender's friends are always just really hurt.
Yeah, Fry gets hurt a lot.
Same with Archer. Archer's friends always seem to get pretty hurt.
Now I gotta think though.
You'd settle on Archer?
Well, I mean, like off the top of my head now, yeah. I might change my answer by the end of the cast, but
yeah, now I'm trying to think of like a book, like someone interesting that might have something to say.
Something a little obscure.
Yeah, but I can't think of anybody that's fucking actually be. They're mostly just depressed fucking people.
So yeah. Like I guess this isn't a fictional character, but Mike Tyson.
Oh, I'd love to hear some stories from Mike Tyson.
Well, man, that's not.
But you can go with Mike Tyson's
No,
mysteries.
but not really. But that's where I'm going from. But the cartoon character from Mike Tyson's mysteries.
I want to hang out with Pigeon from Mike Tyson's mysteries. No, I just want to hang out with Norm Macdonald. That would be
what if he was only doing
that character would be great to get wasted.
Yeah.
The Pigeon?
Would you still hang out with Norm Macdonald if he was doing like the KFC man the whole time and doing the Colonel?
I never saw that commercial. I heard about it.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Do you like KFC?
No.
You get drunk with him and eat a bucket of chicken?
I don't like KFC for a really stupid reason. You know how they have like the Zinger sandwich?
Yeah.
So like I always
it's like a spicy one?
Yeah. I always ordered the Zinger sandwich. Suddenly they switched the Zinger sandwich to, instead of being a chicken breast on it, it was 2 chicken fingers on a thing of bread. But they never told anybody. I kept ordering it and being like, did they run out of fucking chicken? Did they give me 2 chicken fingers? 4 chicken fingers is cheaper than this sandwich, and I'm getting 2 chicken fingers on a fucking piece of bread. I was pissed off. And then now, if you want the Zinger, you gotta order the Big Crunch. It's nonsense.
It's not
the Big Crunch, spicy. That's the Zinger. Now the Zinger's a shitty 2 pieces of fucking.
So it sounds like at one point you were a KFC connoisseur.
No, I just like that sandwich.
Inside and out. Yeah. What are all the secret herbs? Don't tell us. Wait till after the cast.
Yeah. That's like one of those like well-kept secrets. No one knows all the secret herbs and spices.
Know.
No, it's like 2 people or some bullshit. I remember reading an article, this is years ago, and who knows if it's fucking true, it was probably on Cracked or some shit. But it was like, there's like big secrets that only 2 people know, and it's like the formula to Coca-Cola, the secret herbs and spices for KFC chicken, and where they get the dirt for Major League Baseball pitching.
Yeah, that one keeps coming up, but mind you, I watch a lot of baseball.
What's so weird about that?
There's like a certain, there's dirt everywhere, right? But there's a certain kind of dirt that pitchers rub on the ball, in Major League Baseball that come from one place that's supposedly only a father and son or some shit? No.
It's probably like bone dust, and they just don't want to.
Yeah, they're just killing people.
Yeah. Like human bones is the greatest thing to rub on your hands.
Did you say Cuban?
Cuban.
I thought you said Cuban too.
Oh no.
It's baseball.
No, that makes sense, but no. My nose is getting stuffed up. It was human bones. And man, I wouldn't want to be. Not that I can be a pitcher, but I'd be really deterred if it was like
bones on your hands.
Grandmama's bones rubbing on my hands.
Maybe.
Yeah, they've been rubbing it in that fire pit for making a murderer.
Yeah. By the RAV4.
Sick making a murderer reference. This one's gonna go viral.
I don't think people give a fuck about that anymore.
I didn't even finish that fucking show. I got halfway through, I was like, who the fuck cares? This goddamn hillbillies probably did it. Even if they didn't, is it really that
Meanwhile,
bad
there's
for
like
society
2
if they're in
people in
jail?
the world listening to our podcast right now being like, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I mean, I really don't care about true crime.
I watched it all in about 2 days. 10 episodes, 2 days.
After a while, I got upset. I was thinking about how upset I was about, like, this whole thing. And I thought, if these 2 people are in jail, is it really that bad for society? Couldn't everyone be a little bit more stressed out about bigger issues here?
Oh,
if
man.
these 2 fucking, let's face it, morons are in jail, is the world ending? There's other things that we could be focused on here. Netflix needs to make a documentary about something, a little bit more important, let's say.
I don't know about that, man. Like, for the sake of...
Police corruption, don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying that this is an
bought-
important fucking story, but for the sake of what a documentary is, I think it was a really well done documentary.
I think it's
because it was
actually
just
probably
like
not.
it was just like the Magician one,
So-
where they were filming a documentary just about his previous charges. That's all they were filming a movie.
Yeah, and
And
then
then this
something
shit just
happened, yeah.
dropped on their lap, and
But-
they're like, "Oh, fucking Netflix money."
Yeah, I get that, but the problem with it is it's not a good documentary in the sense that it's really one-sided. Documentary is supposed to be a fly in the wall.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're right about that in that case. I'm just talking about how the story. It was a documentary
story
with a
unfolds.
story. I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it, whatever. Fucking everything's been said that can be said about that fucking show, and we're
Yeah.
saying it 2 months too late. But I don't know. Let's say we don't need a fucking petition for Barack Obama to get this guy out of jail. Let's say people could petition him for some different shit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like what?
Yeah,
What could we start a
Kyle?
petition about? No, I don't even think he'd listen to us. I wouldn't listen.
Barry.
To him.
I call him Barry because we're close.
Barry.
You listen to the podcast. You got some other problems, Barry.
Does
Damn.
anyone call him that?
That was that's Barry Obama. I
You're the
think was
first
what he was,
person I've ever heard refer to him as
maybe
Barry.
like college and stuff.
No, I
that
guess you
was
wouldn't
what
just
he
be
was
like Brock all the time.
No, it makes sense.
But I
Pretty
mean,
sure.
Brock or B-Rock.
B-Rock. Oh, jeez.
B-Rock.
Well, B-Rock is what I would have called him, probably, yeah. But I mean, he thought that was racist, and he was running for president. Yeah, but I don't know.
Okay, that's racist, but
I was...
no, but I mean,
Barack or B-Rock?
the basketball court thing.
What?
They got a basketball court in the White House.
Yeah, he took out the bowling alley. Put in a basketball court.
I mean,
Good for
like-
him. Fuck bowling.
I agree. I'd have way more fun with the
I'd rather have a
I
basketball
would have
court.
way more fun if his name was B-Rock.
That's true. Sounds like a fucking Trailer Park Boys character.
Yeah, it does.
B-Rock and J-Rock. Rock hard.
New season coming out.
I hope that's the new season. That would be good.
There's new season. Snoop Dogg's gonna be in it.
Of course he is.
I'm really excited for the new Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
I haven't watched
last-
anything on
no?
since they've been on Netflix.
The last season, I remember the first time I went through it, I was like, oh, they're trying new things. I don't know how I feel about this. Then all it took was like one more rewatch. I was like, this is gold.
Yeah, it's...
They just have a couple new characters that you have to fall in love with because they're just as funny as when they first introduced Bubbles as a main character. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they changed shit up. I should watch it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
Yeah.
So much television these days. I just watched the new episode of It's Always Sunny.
Nice.
Did you guys see it?
I haven't seen the newest one.
I just the lawyers in it, and that made me happy.
For some reason, the episode about when they went skiing, that's been stuck in my head. That was easily my favorite episode this season.
Yeah, this new one.
This new one's good.
Yeah?
It's got a good Charlie ending.
Like, Charlie and it, just, I want to spoil it with anything, but if you don't know what it is, then I don't want it, because it's awesome.
We'll talk about it next week or something.
Alright.
We'll let you know what Cody thought of the new episode of It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, you'll get a review. Out of 3 stars.
Yeah. 3 stars, that's our rating system? Yeah. Alright.
No, I don't like that system at all. I'm like already trying to figure it out, and it's like, that's not going to work.
They're probably all going to be a 2.
7-star system I'm down with.
7's? Why is that better?
Well, because then the halves mean more.
Halves?
Yeah, when you do like 3.5 stars.
No.
No, half stars on any of the reviews. It's all stars or nothing.
Okay, so anyway, I like the 7-star system that includes halves. After Cody does his shitty review, I'll do an even shittier review.
That's a really weird, like, we're on a 14-point system then. It's really weird.
No. It's 7.
No,
you
it's
count
14.
The halves.
No, that makes it 14.
Yeah, it really does.
No. So after my shitty review, you can hear
Kyle's review on his
14.
review.
That's a lot, though. People are going to lose interest by 14.
You're talking... Oh, never mind.
I'm the one that doesn't get it.
Alright, who has a new fucking topic?
Well, I was going to ask you, Kyle, what was the last comic that you were into? Or
Saga.
Saga? And
Yeah, and I
was a
keep
while
meaning to
ago,
get back
too,
to it.
wasn't
And I just... my iPad, when I moved, I lost my charger. I can't seem to find it, so I have not been able to, like...
Well, if you had to recommend like any new series, what would it be?
A new series?
That
since I've been-
he's
haven't been listening.
so like fucking almost a year ago, probably.
Kyle would enjoy reading?
Yeah, well, like what would be your number 1 recommendation? I guess for the listeners too.
Oh, well, that's 2 different questions.
Oh no, we'll answer both.
Yeah, he knows me well.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, for Kyle, I can't really think of anything, really. No, I mean...
Exactly. Yeah, I'd be too pissy about whatever it was.
No, actually...
How do you like Star Wars?
Okay, no, that's what I was going to say. Like, the go-to answer for Kyle would be, and I've said this many times, I've offered it, and I like begged him almost, is to read the Star Wars comics.
Yeah, you're probably right. I should read those.
I
almost bought the start, like, I kicked myself now. I saw that they had, like, 1, 2, and 3 in the comic book store, like, months after they come out. And, like, trying to buy those now is a pain in the ass. But they were just sitting behind the shelf. Like, I could have grabbed and started right from there. Like, issue 4 had just come out. And I didn't do it, and I fucking should have. That was done with me.
It would even been just smart to buy them even if you didn't want to read them.
Yeah, I could have just sold them now and made money.
Because I was looking at the shelves, and I think the earliest one they have is issue 3, 4th printing.
Yeah, I would say
these were, I think,
like,
first print. It's like, and I just fucking blanked on it.
It's crazy how it took off.
Oh yeah, I want to say that some of them are on 11, maybe even 14 printing.
No way.
You might want to look it up, but at least 11. I'm not even joking.
Maybe issue 1? I doubt. Man, that's insane. That makes no sense.
I
She's
know.
not printing enough books.
That might actually be the case. Like, they're making these comics worth money.
I hope that's not true. That's ridiculous.
No, man, I get confused because I check comics list regularly, and I'm always you have to scroll through to be Star Wars.
Because the trade's already out for the first one, so they wouldn't be reprinting it.
I'm not so sure.
Well, they could still be reprinting.
But I go
They've
through
never
it.
done that with a comic.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. They're still reprinting fucking. They gotta be reprinting old first issues.
No, well, like Image will do like Image firsts, but it's not like a 4th printing or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
usually once the trade's out,
they give up.
They push the trades because there's a lot more fucking money in trades.
Well, I will say though, with all these variants or with all these new printings, come all new variants, and maybe that's what they're all about.
Yeah, people.
Because I want to say that for the fucking issue 1, they broke records for having before. At one point, it was like 50-something variants for issue 1, and it's got to be more than that by now. We'll say 50-something plus at least 11.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. They did quite a few for Archie too. That were really good.
Well, yeah, but in a weird way, Archie's almost as big as Star Wars.
Well, what would you recommend to the mass audience then? Star Wars Kyle.
Do you have an answer? Because I
Yeah.
kind of want to think about it for a sec.
Providence.
Well, yeah, we talked about this a little while ago.
But yeah, I just like think
For someone though that,
I think it's great to just jump right into it.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
like to a
'Cause
like
it's
even a
just
beginner
mystery.
reader.
It's nothing but mystery.
That's
Is this
very
like an
true.
Easy read?
No.
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 It's like the hardest comic read I've ever had, probably.
Well, that's hard. That's a hard suggestion.
I
but
get,
I get
No,
it.
but I find it very rewarding.
It is very rewarding, and I can't stop. We've probably talked about it on other podcasts. Like I can't stop thinking about it. Though I'd recommend anyone else to join that struggle. I mean, just while reading it, I had to go buy all the prequels. So I mean, like that right there, it's it's not a thing to get into lightly. I mean, now I'm right into H.P. Lovecraft. Like,
I got
what I
a
mean?
question.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot to involve. Like I'm invested in that lore.
Would Providence make a good movie?
No.
Please no.
No.
Because this is the
No.
question. I was
No,
gonna
everybody,
ask.
man.
No,
Providence
because
sucks.
literally, like,
no one should get
half
that.
the
make
half
that
the
movie.
book is journal entries.
Yeah.
Like, you read a comic
Okay.
for the first
Oh,
half.
so is Watchmen.
Oh man, way more than
No.
that.
No, but literally, like, you read journal entries. Like, it's
Like
handwritten.
Okay.
Like to the point where you can't just read it easily. You have to sometimes like stare at the word. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. It's really sloppy. And, like, that's...
It sounds like a
And
pain in the ass.
it's
I'm glad
good.
you didn't suggest this for me.
No, it's good.
It's great, though.
But again, it's great. I would love everyone to read it, but I wouldn't suggest you just.
Well, like, speaking of
It wouldn't be
H.P.
fun.
Lovecraft and all his spookiness, I don't know if Greg told you, but
Spookiness.
for his birthday,
Best gift ever.
I went out and I got
Thanks,
him
Greg.
like a demon hunter.
I'm sorry,
kit.
but it is. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, you got him a Demon Hunter kit.
Yeah, so like I went to this religious store and I walked in and I pretended to be all awkward and shit and I bought holy
Pretending.
water.
Yeah, I was gonna
I bought a crucifix from Bethlehem. I got him a Bible, garlic, cigarettes, whiskey.
They sell that at the.
No, I wish it was a one-stop shop.
That would be. I bet you in some places.
You have to go in the
States,
back room for that.
I bet you there's some places down in is it the Christian Bell? Yeah. I bet you down in the Christian Bell there are places where you can buy all of that.
You guys are good gift buyers for one another, and I'm not good at that. I bought you hockey tickets.
Well, the funniest thing,
No,
but
I got about
I
halfway
like
through all
it,
these
yeah.
purchases, and I looked in the bag. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? Am I gonna give this to him? He's gonna chuckle and like set it aside." And be like,
Well, no,
that
there's
was
still
kinda weird.
more.
I knew he's like
There
that.
was like
Well, no, there was also like an H.P. Lovecraft novel and a map of Kingston, which he's always been talking about.
it's a side project.
A side project of what? Exercising the demons of Kingston?
No,
Is that the side project?
no, it's not.
Yeah. Look out, demons of Kingston. Greg's coming for you.
Well, he's set now.
He's got it all.
It was
Which
a
one of you guys
wonderful
got
present.
the Ouija board? Was that
Oh,
you?
yeah, you got that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing ever. It was, I think, the day before my birthday. And
I want to say it was like maybe.
I think it was the day before my birthday, and it was a normal night. I went to bed fairly early,
Yeah.
turned the lights off, got into bed, put my arm under the pillow, I hit something. I hear a noise. So I reach underneath, I pull it out. It's just a box. It's pitch black, but I know there's a box in my hand. So I'm like, what the fuck? If I grab my cell phone, I illuminate it, it just says Ouija. I almost pissed my fucking pants, man. It was the creepiest thing ever. I immediately got up, ran out, just holding it in my hands. Holy shit, Greg.
Yeah, I think I was here drinking with Greg, and he told me you'd done it.
Yeah, then we tried to fucking use it, and it didn't work at all. It didn't even budge.
Man, but I
Well,
have
you-
been told.
Okay,
avoid-
someone has to move it, right? Someone
Apparently. No, but dude, I was even like applying pressure onto the thing. It wouldn't budge. There's so much friction between the tool and the
Like
board.
yeah, I don't know, man. Like the weight of our hands, like maybe we're just too heavy-handed.
Yeah,
Even so
probably.
Because like
You
I
didn't
don't
have
know.
me there to actually
People
just
use
spell
it.
You
People
suck.
use it and it moves around. You know what I mean? Like usually it moves around for people, let alone spell
In movies?
real words.
I've never used one. I've only seen it used in movies.
My mom said she used one back in the day. She said it's creepy, but like it didn't even budge. So I was like, fuck, this
Maybe
sucks. We
this-
haven't used it since.
Yeah, hey,
Greg already
This
exercised
house-
the demons.
is safe.
Humans know not to come around here.
Well, I mean, I salted most of the windows.
That sounds like a thing you do. Yeah, I don't think you're even fucking joking. You probably do.
No, but he added salt to his kit.
Also, a machete, a dagger. I need some silver. Iron.
Yeah, you put like a dirk in it, right? Or someone had like a.
Yeah, that's a great word because that's actually what it is.
Yeah, it's a Scottish dagger.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know how to exercise those fucking demons.
Yeah.
Scots style. I'm not even Scottish.
What do you think though? Like, okay, holy fire is a thing. You usually get it from burning holy oil. But do you think I can get a priest to bless a lighter?
Holy oil? That's a thing? I don't know.
Blessed oil?
Yeah, but do you think I can get a priest to bless a lighter? Holy fire?
Well, essentially, couldn't a priest bless anything?
No, Woody, I guess, is the proper
You
question.
just need a good priest.
Yeah, but it'd be like,
Probably
honestly, the priest that would listen to me long enough to bless
priest.
my lighter is probably going to follow me home.
Yeah, I don't...
I'll exercise your demons.
I would just stay away from getting priests to bless any of
Yeah,
your
I actively avoid hanging out with priests. Usually, I don't know. Seems like a weird thing. Maybe that's me.
Yeah, but I understand that. Typically, I don't have a lot in common that I need to hang out with a priest, but on this front...
On the demon front.
I might share some things in common with the odd priest.
It's a constantly moving front.
Yeah, and with guys like me, hopefully it'll just keep moving in our favor.
It's hard to draw the line unless it's a pentagram.
No, you don't draw lines.
Oh, man.
You know what's funny, though, is like you guys laugh, you laugh. Well, one day...
I do.
No, it's all good.
One day,
what?
Lindsay's crab walking down the stairs.
That fucking day I pushed her down the rest of those stairs.
Oh man, that's great. I hope that she listens to this one.
She will, yeah. She's one of our 2 subscribers.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Lindsay.
Man, listening's listening. Thank you.
That's right.
Dude, all most people want in life is to be heard. Okay?
Is that what you're saying about the ghosts? I don't know at this point if you're fucking even joking about this. Like, I don't.
Now, see, my favorite... Okay, the way I cope with Greg's strange obsession is that he's doing some kind of strange meta, like, artistry. Where he's, like, blending reality with fiction, and all I can hope is in the end he'll have something great written down on paper.
So you're
I gave him a
you
notebook.
accept it as Greg's a psychopath. I
But
can't
I
tell
just-
fiction from reality, and this is how I deal with it. But he might make great art.
No, not as like I like to think he has some control and knows, but is just kind of having fun with it and maybe using it as inspiration.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Man, if anything,
he's
like,
writing it down. That's
you like hanging out with me, so that's
I
something
do,
about your
I do.
character. You're
Yeah.
secretly afraid that you might get attacked or possessed by demons.
and I might need you. Yeah, that's,
So
you're my number 1 go-to if it happens.
It's
I
on the
tell
fucking
you.
table.
Like, who are you gonna call? Greg.
Not posting my phone number, but you guys can get a hold of me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'd be down. I'll tell you
Put
what
it
I
in some
know.
YouTube comments.
I'll help you out.
I'll exercise your demons.
Just so we're clear, I've never actually come. Man, okay, well, no, I've never come in like I've never had an experience with anything. I mean, I'd love to. That'd be fucking great. I mean,
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah, man.
Anybody got a ghost story?
Not personally, but shit's happened with my sister.
Yeah.
Where like my sister growing up in my house on First Street, my mom told me this, not her, but like supposedly would always talk about some blonde lady in her bedroom.
that
playing
already
with-
gave me shivers.
Playing with her books and like my sister has some learning disabilities, so like she doesn't go out of her way to usually make shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really creepy, and that house in general, just bad juju. Like the basement when we first moved in, there was a cubby tucked away, and it was an unfinished cellar. This little cubby door in the back, with about 7 different locks on it. My dad busted these locks off.
Wait, you don't do that.
Inside was children's toys
No.
and an old candle.
Hey man, seriously.
An old what?
Candle. So like this was some little like timeout room in our basement, but they said it was like ancient toys. Like,
Candle.
yeah, Yeah,
And 7
so my
locks.
dad like dried wild over it or
Oh, dude,
something.
man.
He kind of
Outside
boarded it up. So like I've seen where it is in the basement, but I can't see it there anymore.
No,
Clint's
sorry,
fucking
no.
pulling your leg.
Yeah, your
No.
dad was just joking with you.
No, man,
Yeah,
they were
he
fucking with
was.
me. My mom told me about
he
this too.
was. Yeah, this is just all good fun.
It was like the house was 120 years old.
Yeah, so are a lot of houses in Gan. What do you like?
And a lot of houses in Gan are supposedly haunted.
Yeah, I remember I worked at the Blink Bonnie in Gan, which was famously haunted. Like
Yeah.
in books about being haunted or whatever. I never saw shit. I cleaned all those. It's creepy. Cleaned all the old parts of the hotel. We'd only ever open them when it was like the festival, and there'd be, that's the only time where it was full and you had to rent those rooms. And people would talk about, I hear stuff up there all the time. Yeah, you hear the wind, and the floor is creaky because it's
Old
fucking
as
200 years
fuck.
old. Like nothing's stable anymore. It's shifting. Like,
See, but what if like these old houses and shit? They're usually settled. What if
That's not true, man. They creak like crazy.
yeah.
No, they don't.
Greg, do you have one? You don't have anything?
Nothing, man. Like, maybe that's probably why I find it so intriguing. Because, like, I hear these stories, and it's like... Some people, like, for as much as I like to make up stories, like, lying is not something I'm particularly fond of.
No, because it's too easy.
It's really easy. Like, that's the thing. It's just, like, for the most part, if I'm telling a story that sounds ridiculous, it probably is. Okay? Like, there you go. Just fucking spoil that for everyone. But no, I've never had a ghost story or anything like that.
Not even from a close friend or relative.
No, man. Like, when my grandfather passed away, I had some dreams about him. But I feel like that's pretty normal. Like, at no point did I feel like he was trying to talk to me.
Well, yeah. Like, how about you, Kyle? Like, no one, even like your mom or dad or brother, have claimed to have had anything happen to them.
My mom stands by it pretty heavily. She's had quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly when she was younger, she had an apartment with a friend, and they had this statue. I want to say it was like a Buddhist statue or something ridiculous like that would move around, and everyone would claim they never moved it. Like, it would be at the top of the stairs when she left, and at the bottom of the stairs when she got home.
Yeah,
Or vice versa.
Your mom and her friends were just talking about
Yeah, they're just fucking... But she pretty heavily believes in, like, some spiritual stuff, But, I don't know. I've never taken any, I never believed in anything. But, I mean, I don't believe in anything, like, spiritual or religious or anything. So I'm always a skeptic. We have a friend, though, that a whole house we used to go to all the time, that lots of people would always say that place is haunted.
Yeah,
I don't want to say anybody's name or anything, but, like,
it was a creaky old fucking house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then, and they'd be like, "Oh, we heard a door slam." It's like, yeah, because there's a fucking draft. Like, there's not a sealed fucking spot in that whole house. Like, the wind blows somewhere, the fucking door's gonna
this
slam.
house is like fucking not brand new, but it's well kept, I guess. And yeah, my bedroom door sounds like someone's trying to break in every night, and it's just like the slightest breeze.
Yeah.
Just the other night, Lindsay, saw some, new trailer for, I think it was called Witches. It's a movie coming out. She wouldn't watch it. She's like, "Kyle, you gotta watch it. Tell me if it's scary. I want to watch it." Like the trailer. She does this. But I had to pre-watch it just to tell how terrified she's gonna be. Sorry, Lindsay, I'm telling the story. And anyway, so I watched it. I'm like, it's not scary to me. Like, it doesn't, it's a creepy trailer, I guess, but I don't get scared of it or whatever. And then I don't know what we're talking about afterwards, but I go to the bathroom and I'm bugging her, and our bathroom door, for some reason that time I've never heard it do it before. I just walk out and I kind of half shut it behind me, and as it's closing and we both stop talking and the door goes. And I even jumped. I was like, "What the fuck was that noise?" I had to turn and go, "Oh, it was just the door." But then it was Lindsay's like, "Well, why then?" But it was just the fucking door. Because I live in an attic. Not a haunted attic. Just haunted by me in my underpants. But that's it.
Yeah, and what's funny is you always relate ghost stories to these old creepy houses. When do you ever hear a ghost story about that happens in the suburbs? Other than paranormal activity.
No, there's murder stories in the suburbs. Just regular old murder by live people. Some nutty
I don't know about that. What about, like,
You're thinking about movies.
Yeah. Just plots of movies.
Yeah.
Poltergeist came to mind, though, but I feel like that was an old house, though.
Yeah, it was built on an Indian burial ground.
Yeah, but then, in the remake, though, there was, like, a brand new subdivision. But
Yeah,
it was built.
fucking remake.
Nah, but it was they, like, moved.
The remake have Coach in it? I can't remember the
What horror movies have actually, like, scared you guys back in the day?
The Ring.
Totally.
The Ring.
Fucking, that was a creepy fucking
Terrified the fucking shit out of me as a kid. I was like, I say a kid, I was probably like 12 when that came out. But it still scared the
In
absolute
hindsight,
shit out of me.
it's a really fucking stupid movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I watched it, like, probably a couple of years ago. Really dumb, but, like, the visuals as a child, it fucked with me. Yeah.
Something about the way that creepy little bitch moved. But yeah, I had my parents show me, like, I remember being young and Carrie being on, like, fucking TBS or some shit, where they play all movies that I saw as a kid. And
It's great.
like my getting right to the end, my parents being like, you shouldn't even watch this. You like turn away. And it was like the hand out of the ground. Spoilers for Carrie.
I think it was a 20-year grace period.
I remember at that point in time, like, as a kid, I was pretty young. Like, maybe I'm only, like, 6 or something. And, like, the hand comes out of the ground, and I'm like, yeah, that's, like, not scary. I saw that shit on The Simpsons. You know, like, yeah, that's not a terrifying ending. And my dad and my mom being like, that scared the shit out of me as a kid. And then they watched, like, The Exorcist. That was it. My mom always talked about The Exorcist, scared the crap out of her. Wouldn't let me watch it as a kid. I was allowed to watch
Harold
anything.
is the scariest movie ever.
And I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, I get how when you're, like, if you were 6 and movie effects weren't a thing until that movie.
I watch a lot
No,
of
but
horror
to say
films.
this, it's a creepy movie.
There's
Which
creepy
one?
parts. The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
No, that movie probably got me started on, the interest in that whole thing. Like, I was brought up Catholic, and the whole thing was a farce. Like, I never found, like, I didn't believe any of it. Just so we're clear. Okay, I don't think I'm a demon hunter. Alright? Just throwing that out there. I was brought up Catholic, and I mean, the whole thing was just a joke. And for some reason, exorcisms and this whole, like, making Christianity as an art form, I think is fucking, like,
No, see, I wouldn't call it as an effort, because I went to Catholic school too. And when it came to horror movies, I always found religion the most disturbing. And it's something about, like...
Yeah,
it's
really,
treating religion in that taboo form. And it's like, oh...
The dark side of it.
Well, not even that, like, oh, this is a horror movie where everyone gets killed. It's like, oh, this is a horror movie where everyone gets killed, and, like, it's anti-God. And that's bad. And that's why it was weird to me. I'm talking, like, when I was really young. After a while, I didn't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Even now when I, like ideas that I want to come up with, I'd like to say, are heavily influenced by Christianity. Like, a lot of my motifs are going to come right out of the Bible. I feel like it's a great source for fiction. It's all there.
Well, yeah.
Like, I get it. I see the appeal.
And it's almost to the point now where it's like, I'm not going to say you're just going to plagiarize the Bible, though. I mean, if someone could get...
Well, it's obviously part of your life.
Well, it's a huge part of the life, and
so if you're going to, like, try to...
It's like references and metaphors that you can make, and people don't understand why they're drawn to it. Do you know, like... People obviously know why Eve is a great name to name female characters. You know what I mean? But you can go deeper than that, and people don't even know why they're drawn to this information that they were spoon-fed as a child and just gave up on, but it's still lingering and kicking around in the back of your head. You know, or at least that's the audience I want to talk to.
It's weird, I think about, like, we all grew up in Gan, Cody and I did, and Greg, you grew up all over the place, but I didn't grow up religious in any way. And almost every one of my friends now grew up Catholic. And it's not like we ever came from, like, a specifically Catholic town or anything. But everybody, they, like...
Yeah.
Well, and none of them went to my school, because you guys all went to Catholic school or whatever, and I went to public school, but...
Yeah, but I still made the choice at high school, because I obviously could have went to Catholic high school, but I was like, no, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Because that was when I was right at the age when I was definitely certain I didn't believe in God.
Heavy shit.
But yeah, you know what? Like, I feel like I was at such a
raised.
rebellious age during the high school years that if I wasn't in a Catholic school, I probably would have done a lot better. But it was just like, on top of all the bullshit that people are regularly trying to feed you, they were tossing all this God shit on top of it. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I couldn't.
Okay, so just let me get this straight.
I couldn't believe if religion was ever involved.
Yeah, like no, but like during science class, like comments would come up like learning about evolution and shit. It would just like, so we're clear 7 days, and it would just go on. It would be like little comments like that. They would just say shit.
So it's like, this isn't real, but I have to teach it to you because the law requires me to.
Yeah, like it's like it was just.
That's
It
weird.
was a really strange way to be taught things. To be honest, it made me very distrusting of authority figures because it's just like, I don't believe that you believe what you're telling me. You know, and that's like where chain of fucking command gets broken. It's like, if you're telling me to do something and you don't believe it, like, why am I going to do it? That doesn't make any sense.
You guys both went to Catholic school, but are your parents like practicing Catholic now?
Not now, but I used to go to church and shit.
When you were younger,
Yeah.
but they don't do it now.
Not anymore.
Yours?
If you asked them, they would say that they are.
But they don't go to church.
They never go to church. I mean, they might say prayers at night, but I mean, I'm not going to speak about my family specifically.
No,
but
yeah,
I would
that's
imagine
what I mean.
that's a majority of people. They don't go to church, but when the fucking chips are on the table and they really want something to go their way, all of a sudden God's their best friend. And to me, I just would refuse to ask for help. Let alone beg for it to an imaginary character.
Do you have like grandmothers or something that are like?
My grandparents were super religious.
Yeah.
Or like at least my grandma that lived with me was super religious. And definitely after she passed,
Oh yeah.
we started going to church a lot and a lot less.
Yeah.
It turned into only Easter and Christmas. Then it turned to only
Only
Christmas.
Christmas,
Then it
yeah.
turned to, hey, do you want to go to church on Christmas? And then it turned to, hey, I might go to church this year. Do you want to come? Now, we haven't gone for like the last 2 years, I think.
Yeah. See, it's weird. Like, I never went when I was a kid, unless it was a funeral or something. And then, but on one side of my family, like, they're very religious still to this day. And, like, I just never really saw that side of the family. And I guess because I was far away, that my parents never felt like the pressure to raise me that way or anything.
Well, yeah, and like, it's hard because you enter a child into that at such a young age where, like, you tell me fucking Harry Potter's real, I believe you. You know what I mean? Like, let alone, like, anyone can just tell you, like, this is what you have to believe. There's no questioning that when you're literally in kindergarten being taught religion.
Yeah.
So it's just ingrained. And then by the time you don't believe, you feel so guilty about bringing it up that
Yeah.
a lot of people just don't do it at that point, and they'll just go on not really believing but claiming to, just in case, so they don't go to hell when they die.
Yeah, sorry, we're not trying to alienate anybody listening, but that's just,
I think it's really okay to be openly atheist these days.
yeah.
I'm not putting
I
down
thought
religion,
that,
but
and then I've had, and it never comes up, you know, it's like people don't talk about it in regular conversation, right? And then I always just thought, oh, most people these days, especially in Canada, are atheists. Or I always thought that. And I don't know really why. I guess it's because my friends are, or whatever. But then you bring it up, like, or I wouldn't bring it up, but I've heard it brought up around. Like, I heard someone, like, bring it up at work, and, like, say, like, oh, I don't believe in God. And, like, then someone was like, what? Like, got, like, really in their face. And I
That
was like, oh,
probably
shit.
has a lot less to do with religion than just arguing and wanting to be right all the time. Because people who genuinely believe in God, I don't think need to convince me that they do. And people who don't believe in God don't need to convince other people
I think that's,
not
yeah.
to. So anybody
the
who's
Canadian
looking,
way, yeah.
anyone who's looking for an argument is just looking to be right, regardless of whatever the facts are or whatever the arguments are about. You know, it's yeah, you're right. It's just best not to bring it up. Though I mean, we just fucked that one about the podcast here. But
bring it
you
up.
guys don't get to have an opinion that we're going to hear. So I mean, except in the comments that someone's going to read. I just gestured to Cody and Kyle.
Oh, that we're gonna read them?
No, they've been reading all your guys' previous comments.
Yeah, like what? I don't think there's been a single one.
Game on.
Yeah, anyways, I think it's been a good 5th episode.
You guys, I don't know, should we end on a religious hit or should we go on to something a
No,
little
we can
lighter?
end on a religious note. The last comic that I read that was really good was Todd McFarlane's Savior. It's about a Jesus-like character. Jesus just got added in on the Walking Dead television show. Old Canadian cult film was Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, and there's a great scene where he goes to the lesbian clinic.
The lesbian clinic?
That's a thing. In the movie, not in real life.
It might be a thing in real life.
That's probably a real thing.
Like clinics for like gay people.
But to not like
I honestly don't know. In the movie, they weren't very clear on what the clinic did.
Oh my god!
I think that's what they call it.
Pray the gay. Oh, so okay, that's not what I was thinking.
No,
when you said
silly.
clinic.
No, Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. He's hunting vampires, and he gets a sweet pair of Adidas. Ends up in a lesbian clinic. It just says lesbian clinic, and he goes in there, and all these women are dead. So I actually don't know what they were there to do, and never gets touched on. He kicks the shit out of us. I'm spoiling this movie. You're right. We should end it before I ruin the ending.
The pray the gay away thing is real.
That's unfortunate.
That's not like a joke. Well,
No,
it is a joke.
that is the
funny though, because to be honest, if I was gay, and it was just like prayers were gonna turn me straight, I would say game on.
That could be why my parents aren't religious. Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
All right, I tried to end it earlier.
Well, I guess thanks for listening to a new episode, and like, subscribe. Apparently, you can't find us on YouTube/2 versus 3 because we don't have enough subscribers. So find it on YouTube. Just type in 2 versus 3. Then subscribe so that I can make this whole conversation shorter at the end of the podcast.
Do people actually go like youtube.com/this or do you know?
I don't know. I don't.
I feel like if you go Google, we'll try it later. And I'll let you know. Just Google 2 versus 3, like YouTube 2 versus 3 would like that not just come up.
Probably. Who knows?
Like I don't even have to finish www.
No one puts that. No one's like hit it up on the World Wide Web. We're available there somewhere.
If you can spell, you can find us.
Maybe. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Cody.
I'm Greg.
Thanks.